I knew my mother hadn't wanted to lie, that we had agreed to pretend there was nothing special about me, even though I remembered everything that had happened. Even though I noticed the shape of his absence all around us, how it lingered at the foot of my bed at dawn, caught between darkness and daylight. When my mother first discovered me, felt me start to crawl deep within her, she thought of how my father had left her and her breasts dripped milk. She didn't know about the seasons of living things, that they needed to settle like water, to find their right place on earth so as to fall in step with the moon. She didn't know how fast I was growing inside her. In my mind, I was already 3 years old when I pushed out of her body and into her hands. But now, at 12, I wanted to believe there was nothing different about me. My mother had refused surgery on my foot when I was a child because she didn't want to cause me pain. Now, I kept my foot hidden as much as I could. "Hey, frog witch, catching any flies?" the kids would taunt me, before knocking into me in the hallways, causing me to drop my books. Sometimes, when I tired of the bullying and teasing, when the name Frog Witch made my skin burn like fire, I snuck out at night under the stars and dove into the water where there was solace, where there was peace. When everyone else was sleeping, I'd dive into the cool Pacific and swim among the 3 sea lions that sometimes lived under our porch. They were my companions, and this was my meditation. But some people wouldn't let me forget the past. I knew all my classmates talked about it, not just the mean girls that called me Frog Witch. They liked to point to the raised pink scar on my forehead I'd gotten one night when I was 4. I stopped trying to hide it with bangs when Sister Mary came to visit and told my mother that the devil and God had wrestled for my soul, and God had let go first. If I was damned, I might as well show it. Each day after school, I'd run up and down the bleach-scented, burgundy-carpeted hallways of Wild Acres, the retirement home where I grew up. I could knock on any door whenever I wanted. I visited Dr. Brownstein every afternoon because her soft brown eyes were always warm, if not slightly hidden under heavy painted blue lids, because she kept 2 plastic palm trees and a parakeet that would say, "Hello, sweetie," and "Time to make the donuts." Also, because she kept fistfuls of Tootsie Rolls and butterscotch candies in the pockets of her housecoat, which she'd drop into my outstretched hands. My moods were unpredictable and changeable, my mother said, like the ocean. It was true. Sometimes when I thought of my father and how he left us, I became so full of rage that my mother sent me out to the beach so I could scream at the seagulls, and after, I'd watch them drift down through the air like white scraps of paper.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.